Today I'm going to show you how to create a skill in Co-work that replicates your corporate PowerPoint templates in seconds. Whether you are a client-facing executive, a salesperson, a consultant, you often find yourself needing to generate slide decks on the fly. Now, this is something that has taken a lot of time previously. We have to go get the template and enter all the content. And a lot of times, we're just changing a few things based on the customer, but it is a time-consuming, laborious affair. Now, with M365 Copilot and with Co-work, we can create really cool slide decks, but the problem that we're always up against is we've got our corporate template that we want to use because our branding is important, but traditionally they come out looking, not bad, but it doesn't have our corporate branding in it. So I'm going to show you exactly how to get Co-work to create branded templates when it generates slide decks for you. So in Co-work, in M365 Copilot, you need to be enrolled in Frontier Firm, so have your admin turn that on for you, and once you are, you can use Co-work. It is absolutely phenomenal. So what I did was I had a presentation, so I took one of my existing decks, and I went to Co-work and I said, right, I want you to review the format of this slide, particularly the master view, and help me create a skill to create slide decks using this deck as a template. So that's what I did. So then Co-work got to work and it started looking through it, and it's pretty cool to watch it filter through this, reason over my slide deck. So first it took it a bit of time to pull it down via the Graph API, then it ingested it into XML, started pulling it together, looking at the layouts, looking at the themes, and eventually it generates a skill for us. So it has given me what it found and then the skill that it created. So it's created the skill called Nathan-Advisory-Deck. Awesome. Okay. Now, it's going to save this to your OneDrive. Now, I don't know if you've seen Jack Rowbotham's video. He recommends creating a folder for your skills. I can tell you that is a very good idea because mine ended up in a random folder and I had to go hunting for it. But basically what it's created is this skill for Co-work. And when I open this up, it's in Markdown format and it has all of the bits and pieces that it needs, all the instructions for the agent to go and create a deck using this template. So let's come over here to M365 Co-work, and I have put in a prompt here, and I've said, all right, using skills, and then I've given it the name of my skill. So this says I need you to use your skills, and I need you to come look for this skill specifically. Create a presentation on Dataverse MCP, Model Context Protocol, including capabilities and pros and cons versus traditional APIs such as Power Automate. Now, this is the type of stuff that we are often putting together all the time in the consulting world, whether it is a presentation for a client or for a user group or something like that. We are frequently putting slide decks together, and of course, we want it to have all of our corporate branding. So let's go ahead and see if Co-work can use the skill that I've created to then create a presentation using my corporate branding with the topic that I have given it to assemble a slide deck on. So let me go ahead and put this in and let's see it get to work. So it's going to work through the request. We'll skip this. That's for a Dataverse plugin courtesy of Josh Cook. I'll show you that another time. All right, Co-work has done its thing. Let's take a look. So we have our prompt up here. It's gone through. It's loaded the skill. It started building the deck. Now, what's pretty cool here in Co-work is we can get into the thought process and see what it needs to do. So I need to compare the layout, look at the spec example, check the generator. So this is pretty cool stuff. You can really get into the details of what it's doing. Building thought process for building the slides, rendering the slides. and then it does a visual inspection of the slides as well, which is really, really nice. So this is more than what you would typically get in just Copilot chat, where you would say, I need a slide deck on this, and it would generate it. What Co-work is doing is it is using that skill to build the slide deck based on the topic I've told it to build it on, but it is also reviewing it to say, hey, does this meet the template standards that are in the skill? And so you can see the plan here on the right-hand side: write the deck content, visual QA, build the branded deck, and we've got our output down here. Now it's given me a brief summary, section opener, MCP in a slide, MCP versus Power Automate, pros of Dataverse MCP, when to use which. So let's get into this slide deck and see how it did. Let's open this up in PowerPoint. And look at that. We've got our title slide, and it's looking very close to this deck that I built by hand. So that's a good start. All right, now it's not perfect, so this section slide doesn't quite follow the guidelines. Now, I will say that in the example I gave it, I didn't have any section header slides, and so it didn't have anything to go off of. So it was kind of guessing there, but MCP in a slide, that looks pretty accurate. What it can do, yep. And so this looks really good. Obviously, with all AI outputs, we need to review this content before we send it. Remember, responsible AI, we are responsible for this content, even though it was AI generated. I am responsible to ensure that this is accurate before I put it in front of customers. But literally, within less than 5 minutes, I have generated a branded slide deck using my template with my branding, with the content that I have asked it to create. And it even includes questions and my stay in touch and all my contact details. So this is really, really cool. This is a huge, huge time saver. This is probably one of the best skills you can create in Co-work to get started if you are frequently creating presentations to be customer facing. So I hope you have found this helpful. This is an extremely useful way to use Co-work to create a skill. Literally, I had Co-work create a skill for itself based on a file that I had previously created. Of course, this one was created manually, but I literally said to Co-work, review this file and create a skill for yourself so that you can go and do this again. And it gave me this output based on that skill that it created for itself. So I hope this is helpful. Hope this gets you started with creating your own skills for Co-work that will make your life a lot easier when you need to generate things in M365 like slide decks. All right, that's it from me. Go do something awesome on the Power Platform today, and I'll talk to you soon.